So welcome to the next video blog I'm doing. Today we're going to be talking about CGM. Nice comment off my previous blog video was that people didn't really understand what CGM was, and maybe I'd just dive straight in. My fault. I assume people know all about CGM, but obviously they don't, because they don't use it every day like I've been doing recently. So today we're going to have a look at the sensor that's been on my body for the last week, and I'll take it off and you can have a close look at that, see what it looks like. Then we'll apply a new sensor, can show how that goes on and the calibration involved there, and then we'll move on to some questions about CGM, hopefully give you a basic understanding, and there's some more links below. There you'll be able to take your time, read the information, find out everything you know. As always, any questions, either ask me a question on my blog itself or on the YouTube comments, and I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. Okay, hope you enjoy.
Okay, so let's have a look at the sensor. It's the one I've just taken off my body. Comes in two parts. We've got the transmitter and the sensor. Underneath we can see the wire probe that measures the glucose in the interstitial fluid. So there it is. And into the sensor is plugged the Guardian 2 link transmitter, or Guardian 2 transmitter, should I say, with a little G on the side. Needs a wipe off. I'll give that off before I put it back in. So now we'll plug it into the charging station. That's powered by, get the back off. That's powered by a AAA battery, fully replaceable. Oops. And that sits in there probably for, I was told 20 minutes. I'll leave it a bit longer this time, see if I can get a full charge. So that'll stay in there till I put on my next sensor. And behind we have left the sensor itself. This is the consumable. This is the part that comes in the packaging. We'll see in a second on the next video. Try and get it in focus. There we go. See, it's not very big. And there's the little probe on the inside. Lots of tape to keep it secure. And okay, so let's charge it up and then we'll get it connected.
Okay, so it's a little later now. We're now going to insert a new sensor, and we'll walk you through that process with the pump system. Let's have a look inside the box. What have we got? We've got the Guardian Link 2 transmitter, and we need a sensor, which I didn't bring with me. Hold on one sec. Okay, got one now. Here it is. Comes inside a vacuum sealed, comes dated, very highly obviously sensitive. It's all time limited, so this one is safe to use up to the 22nd of July this year. We have an inserter. Which is this little beast here. Together, they work together to do it. So let's have a look, see how it works. I think we need another table, don't we? Hold on. Let's go and get a table. Ta-da! There we are, magic table. Right. So we have the inserter. You can see me there. Inserter. We have the sensor. We also need tape, which we've got here. This will keep it in place for the 6 days that it's allowed to be on your body. So we pull off 2 pieces of these, sticky, one, just 2 there, that's good. And as discussed before, we've got the transmitter. There we go, flashing away means it's charging up, so let's see how we do. So, first step, take the packet out, take the sensor out of the packet. There's a nice little stand there. As always, loads of rubbish with diabetes kit, been through that before. So, we plonk that down on there. Don't need to do anything. Put our fingers on the base, lift up, and we've got the transmitter inside. Show you there. There's a little needle sticking up. Now we're ready to insert onto the body. Let's get to it. Okay, it's a similar process to the set change. See my stomach there. We'll find a nice place, no marks before, so we'll put that on. We've got it in a vertical position, that way up. So we'll have the sensor at the bottom and the transmitter at the top for a nice place to put it.
nicely above the belt line. It is also to be recommended to put up a little bit higher up if you've got a bit more chunk up here. Put it on. Stop it not getting knocked around by the belt and the bending over. But I'm lacking in body weight there, so find a nice place. We don't push down. Be careful not to push the skin because that causes difficulties later on. So we just gently push in the button, which primes it ready to go. Let go of the button, and it goes in. No pain that time. Sometimes it hurts a little. That time it didn't. So we wait 5 seconds. We'll count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Push the button in again, and we gently pull away. And we see it there. It's left in. See the needle? Oops. See my needle sticking out. So we gently holding it on. Pull it off. There we go. That's the needle in the sharp spin, like everything else. Dum dum. So, can we see? Lower the camera a little. Okay, that's a little better. So now we need to, holding on to this, we take the tape from below. Press that down. And we've got some more tape to tape on there when we've put on the transmitter. Put our first bit of tape on. Remove the stickies. Lifting up again. Oops. Gently place over the first part. Oops. There we go. Top bit drop down, so let's try it again. This is one of those occasions where you need lots and lots and lots and lots of hands. So, which we don't have obviously. We place that over there. You can see my hands there, can't you? There we go. Got a nice first piece placed on there. Taping it down nicely. Get the transmitter. Gently push it in. Hear a click as it goes into place. And then with the next bit of tape, we don't pull it tight, we just gently rest it down. See the green light flashing there? So it started what it needs to do. And the last bit of tape needs to go on. In a similar way to the last, crossways. Place with, I can't see with my jumper on. There we go. There we go. Tape off. Tape off. I'll admit it's not one of my best. Normally can get the tapes a little bit flatter. Not too bad though. Nice and secure. Everything's good. It's not going anywhere. Check it down a little bit just to prove it. Hopefully the new vertical position. It's nearly vertical. Looking at that. That new position should hopefully keep it more accurate for longer. Okay, let's move on to the next part. We take the pump out of the pocket. Let's go through the menus. So we've got a new sensor. Need to unlock. Let's find sensor settings, sensor on. Next, sensor connections, and start new sensor. Let's say connect transmitter to sensor, then select OK, which we've already done. There we go, searching for transmitter, so it's now waiting, looking for it. So after 2 hours it will tell me I need to calibrate, which means I need to do a finger prick test, enter the reading, and it will then track the number based on that reading. It's useful to keep my blood glucose fairly steady during this time. Just in the initial calibrations, just makes it track a little bit better. Not always easy, but so the next calibration, next finger pricks test, will be 6 hours after that, and then every day after that will be every 12 hours. There's a reminder function in the bump, so you can set a reminder either an hour or half an hour before, just so you're ready and it does it. If you do calibrate late, it just means there's a little gap in the graph. Doesn't mean the sensor fails or dies, it just means there's a gap.
So what does CGM give to me? Well, without the smart card functions, it allows me to see where my blood's going quickly, easily, lift it out of my pocket, just have a quick look at the screen, see what my number is, see if I'm going up or down, see if I'm in a flat line, see if I need to correct, or if I need to eat something, or just get on with life as normal. It makes life so much easier. Say I take a blood test and it reads at 4.8. If I've not got the CGM on, I'm then thinking, am I on my way down? Am I about to get 4.0 fairly quickly, or am I on my way up, or am I nice and flat? Unless I've tested half an hour before, it's hard to know which way I'm going. I'll know in half an hour when I'm either high or low, but at the time it's tricky to know. With this, I can have a much better idea of which way my blood glucose is going. Certainly out and about day to day, walking around town, just doing general life tasks. If I'm doing that, I can just have a quick look, quick glance, and know which way I'm going. And if need be, I can stop, take a blood test, and make a correction, or grab something to eat. It just helps. So the added bonus with the 640G, G for glucose, is that it's monitoring me continuously, and if it thinks I'm going to be low, it's going to stop delivering the insulin and keep it off, and then when it sees my glucose is rising again, it's going to plop the insulin back on and lift me up, but not so high that it's too high. So that's a little bit about CGM. Okay, I'll be back shortly when we're calibrating. So now 12:06 and we're still warming up. Have a look at the screen. Warming up, can you see that there? Okay. Back soon. Okay, back again. So it now says calibrate now. Calibrate now, calibrate now. There we go. So, not sure how good the number's going to be because I was a little bit low before. Had a few fruit pastels, but that wasn't too long ago. So, keep vibrating at me, tell me to calibrate. So I'll just snooze it for a second. Drip in. Put on. And like all best on-camera tests, the number's not going to be good. Well, let's do some live testing. Here we go. There's the meter. There's the blood. Applied. Countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 3.2. There we go. Nice and low. Okay, help. Right. So, do the calibration first because I know I've got some glucose on board already because I took some fruit pastels. So, we get that. The number's popped up automatically. So we get to select calibrate now. Done. And done. And unlock. And we don't need to bolus. So we're all done. So back to the screen. It says calibrating. So I'll come back in a few minutes when it's finished doing that and I've had something to eat. Okay. Right. A few hours later and we've now put on the nice pink case that John at Medtronic sent to us. What do we say to John and Martha?
A big thank you.
Big thank you to John. Right, we have number 6.6, so we can have a look at there. You can see the line. So the CGM is taking regular readings of my glucose level in my interstitial fluid. Simplicity, we'll call it blood glucose, but it's not technically. But it's taking readings of my blood glucose and then plotting them on the graph, so you can see there, I had something to eat, I rose up, and I'm rising down again. I've got 0.4 units of active insulin. I'm at 6.6, I'm on my way down slightly, but hopefully that should be just about right, so bottom out around 4.5 I think. We'll see how that goes anyway. So, on to the next stage. So I've got my assistant with me.
You do.
Yes, I do. She's going to ask me a few questions. Go ahead, Martha.
What is CGM?
CGM, continuous glucose monitoring. Shortened to CGM, it means it's monitoring your glucose in your body continuously. Like I showed before, just before, there's a nice line on the graph that just shows you the tracking of your blood glucose. So you can always see where it's going, and you can see whether it's dropping quickly, rising quickly, whether you need to take action by either delivering more insulin if you're rising too high, or eating some food if you're dropping low and it's not expected. Okay.
What is blind CGM?
Blind CGM. That's a different type of CGM. So on this CGM, The sensor is measuring my numbers continually, and I can see the numbers. What you might be offered by the hospital or your doctor is a blind CGM. This is where the sensor's inserted and you carry around a small device that will receive the data, but you won't be able to see what the numbers are. You might be asked to keep a food or a insulin diary just to see what's been happening, and you can then, when you go back to see the doctor, you can look at how your numbers have been going, and you can work together to try and find any problems and make any solutions. It's not live, so you can't see the information step by step, but in some way it's almost better because you're not reacting to the numbers. You're just living your life as normal, and then you can work together with your healthcare professional to find a solution. Next question.
Do you have to have an insulin pump to use CGM?
No, you don't need an insulin pump for CGM. With the Medtronic version I've got, yes you do, but there are other CGMs out there made by different companies that you can use if you're just on injections, or even if you're type 2 and you're just on tablets. You don't need to have an insulin pump to have CGM. It's a common assumption to make that you do, but you don't. It works for multiple daily injections and any other form of treating your diabetes.
Next question. If you have an insulin pump and CGM, does that mean that you need two things stuck into you at the same time?
It does. It does. You do need two things. So we've got what we inserted this morning, which is the...
Oh, I forgot what it's called.
Sensor.
Sensor, yeah.
Sensor. And round the back today we have the... Pump. So the insulin goes in here, and this...
Here.
Out of there, yeah. And the sensor is there. It's not the same bit of kit. You can have them close together, that's not a problem, but they do need to be two separate devices. That's that question. What's next?
Does CGM mean you don't have to do finger prick but blood tests?
Well, do you know what finger prick blood tests are?
Are they where you get your testing kit?
Yeah.
Get one of those little small things, get that thing, prick your finger, squeeze out the blood and then put it on and see how much you have.
That's exactly it. So yes, you do still need to do the finger prick blood test with the CGM, because the key part about CGM is it's measuring the glucose in your interstitial fluid. So that's not your blood, it's something just underneath your skin. So it's always about 10 minutes behind your blood glucose value. So if you want to drive, or if you're very low, or if you're high and you want to treat or eat, you need to take a blood glucose reading with a finger stick test, get some blood out, put it on the strip, do the job. With this CGM, you need to do 2 calibrations a day, which means you have to do 2 tests, 12 hours apart, and that allows the meter, which in this case is the pump, to calibrate to the blood glucose level and just lift it up or drop it down depending on what your numbers are, just to keep it on the right levels. It's not a total replacement for finger prick tests, and it shouldn't be seen like that, but it's a fantastic aid, and it does reduce your numbers because you're not flying blind the rest of the time. If you take, oh, hold on, not quite finished. Because if you're taking, if you're measuring finger stick tests, you're plotting dots on a graph. This gives you the line, connects up those dots. So you might have 8 or 10 dots on a line on a graph over the day. This gives you that continual loop and guide. It does what it should do. Next question.
For people in the UK, is CGM available on the NHS?
Is the CGM, do you know what the NHS is?
Is it a business?
Oh, close. The NHS is the National Health Service, and that's the thing that allows people in the UK to get medicines and medical devices free, technically free. We pay for it through our taxes, but there's no additional charge. CGM, however, is not generally available on the NHS. Some people do because of very exceptional circumstances, but it's not very frequent that it will be paid for. If you're able to get access to them, that's really good. You might be able to get lent one by the hospital. The hospital might lend you one once a month or something, or just before your appointment. Otherwise, permanent access, very rare. Next question.
Will current GCMs keep your blood glucose between certain levels?
So, will this CGM keep my blood glucose between the level?
Oh.
Will it stop me going low and high? No, it won't, but it will tell me when that's happening. This, as we've talked about before, the smart guard on this tries to dive in if I'm going too low and lift me back up, and that works most of the time. But this isn't a guaranteed fail-proof system, but it does it very well. On the other side, at the top end, if I'm going high, that's up to me to fix. It's got fantastic alarms, so I know it's happening, but I need to take the action. I need to take the insulin to get myself down again. So no, it won't keep me in between the lines, but it will certainly help me to.
Where can I find out more information about CGM in general?
Good question. If you go to the website inputdiabetes.org.uk, I'll be flashing that along the bottom. That's Input Diabetes. They will have lots and lots of information, primarily on pumps, but also a lot of good CGM information as well. So that's the place to go to.
And where can I find out more information on the Minimed 640G that has the CGM that aims to prevent hypos?
Hypos. Then you'll head to the Medtronic website, obviously. I'll give you a link for that below, and that will tell you all about this. And they have other CGMs available, but there are other ones out there. There's Dexcoms. There's the Abbott Freestyle Libre, which is not a CGM, flash glucose monitoring. It's close, but it's not quite a CGM. But the other options are available. For me at the moment, obviously, this is working really well. Smart Guard is doing its job. Let's have a look at what's the number now.
6.2.
6.2. That's a good number, isn't it? What number do we like to be between? Do you know?
Between 4 and 8.
Correct. Well done.
Now it's just gone 5.7.
Now it's just gone 5.7. Do we like the 640G?
Yeah.
What do we think of the case?
Awesome.
Awesome. So,
that's my opinion.
That's your opinion? Right. Tomorrow I'm going out running again after my failed attempt last week. Ha.
Why? What did you do?
I went out and I messed it up. Yeah. Hey. James is coming over in the morning to come and run with me. Well, more precisely, I'll probably be following him at a distance. But I'm going to go out running with James tomorrow, and hopefully we'll catch some of it on the video. And we'll see you soon. All right. Thank you very much. Bye.
Bye. Cut. I actually did it right.